My name is Heidi, and this is my story. Growing up, I always craved acceptance. This manifested itself in the fact that I always needed everybody to like me. It didn't matter if they were kids or if they were my friends, which was mainly who I wanted to accept me, but adults and elderly people as well. Like everybody I met, I just needed them to like me. And if they didn't like me, then I felt like, what was I doing wrong? Like there's got to be something that I'm doing that they're gonna like. Like why can't everybody like me? And so I tried to be this happy and friendly person, and as much as I wanted to portray myself as that, people still, if they didn't like me, I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I was continually craving this people to like who I was and just to be happy with who I was, and I couldn't figure out why people wouldn't like me. Because I grew up in a small town, I grew up with like a core group of friends, and they knew who I was, and so I felt like I always had to prove to them who I was. I had to be interesting and exciting, and if I wasn't, then I was always afraid that they'd just like get bored of me and then wouldn't want to be my friend anymore. So I strove to have this image that if they saw this image of who I was, who I wanted to be, then they would accept me and they'd be fine with that. So then when I went to university, that all changed because none of those friends were around me anymore. None of the family who I knew who had always loved me growing up, and even though they did accept me, none of those people were around me anymore. And so I was in a city where nobody in my church, nobody in my school, nobody in the city, I didn't know anybody. And so when I'd walk to school, well, I was just totally lonely, and so when I'd walk to school, I just needed somebody to talk to because it got boring talking to myself all the time. And so I would just start talking to God. And growing up in church, I always heard that Jesus is your best friend and can be your best friend, and I believed that, but I didn't really understand it until at that time. So I'd walk to school and I just started talking to him. And eventually this relationship built, and I realized that he is my best friend and he will accept me no matter if I'm surrounded by friends or if I have no friends at all. He views me the exact same way all the time because he loves me so much, and that kind of just floored me, and it's totally changed my life. Not in the fact that I don't want people to accept me anymore, but just in the fact that I know I'm accepted by him, and so if people like me or if they don't like me, it doesn't really matter because in his eyes I am whole and I'm complete and I'm accepted by him. My name is Heidi and I crave acceptance.